Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, remember the Jaguar Project 8? Well, the folks over at Jaguar can't keep their grubby little mitts. Continue to develop this machine, continue to make improvements on this machine. Its old Nürburgring lap time record was 7 minutes 21.23 seconds. And we've seen a number of different variants of this machine, including that new Touring variant that came out several months ago. Well, this new edition reset the Nürburgring lap record for the machine. This is the new two-seater track spec edition. This comes with these Michelin Pilot Cup Sport 2 tires on all four corners. The new lap record for the Project 8 comes in at 7 minutes 18.361 seconds. I love companies that can't keep their hands off of machines, continue to develop and continue to make them better, perform better, and the like. And I'm always a sucker if you watch this particular program for a Nürburgring lap time record. So congrats to the folks over at Jaguar. Can't see what you may have up your sleeve in the future. Next up on the list, I don't know how General Motors did it, but the Corvette is kind of the darling of the internet over the past several months, or definitely over the past several months, but definitely over the past 10 days since the vehicle made its official debut, at least at the taping of this particular program. And the last episode was exclusively Corvette all the time, going over a lot of the different color options, but apparently I missed one. It was in the list. I missed out on it. The actual seat belts. You can get in 7 different colors for the seatbelt option alone, which is pretty impressive. But there's one option list that the new Corvette has that I don't think a lot of people will get, and definitely a lot of people know about. It's the VIN number. The VIN number is something a lot of people don't know about. You can look down in the driver's side bottom part of the windshield. You can see the VIN number, and it tells you everything you need to know about the car. Where the car was built, when the car was built, what year it is, what kind of vehicle it actually is, along with a lot of the option list of it. And General Motors will allow you to actually customize that 17-character number plate. Now, the trick is you can't do the entire 17 list. You can only do the last 5, and the last 5 are exclusively numbers, so you have to do it in a number fashion. Which kind of begs the difference. What are you going to put as the last numbers? Are you going to put your birth date? Are you going to put the year of the car? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what people will actually do for this particular deal. And the possibility of getting 0001, which will actually be the first ever C8 ever built, I'm assuming is probably completely off limits. Now, that being said, the price of getting your exclusive VIN number, at least the last 5 digits, are $5,000, which is $1,000 a piece, which is pretty pricey. And that being said, how many people are actually going to even look at the VIN number of your car, and you're actually going to have to point it out to them? So it's a very expensive auction. And when you talk about mid-engine supercars, $5,000 doesn't sound like much, but when the opening Savier is $60,000 on this car, it is kind of an interesting situation to actually purchase. That being said, it will be interesting to see how many people actually purchase this option. In that somewhat related story, a couple of days ago, I decided I needed to kind of make a little road trip. I decided I wanted to see the new Supra. The new Supra was just out in dealer showrooms. So I did a little Target search to see if there was any Supras in dealer showrooms that I could actually go lay my eyes on. Oddly enough, in the town that I work in, just a handful of miles up the road, there is a Supra. Sold, but it is still sitting on the dealer showroom. When I pulled up, there was 2 salespeople out that started to have a little conversation with me. Not about buying a car, about my car. Now, one of these days, I'm going to probably do a video on my car. I purchased a vehicle, I don't know, last November, so just about a year ago. I was looking for a car that they only built about 4,200 in a 3-year span. I ended up buying a car that they only built 2,450 in a 3-year span. And in fact, my particular year, they only built 1,000 of these machines, which one of the salesmen actually knew. And we kind of made some light discussions about the car that I own, but that quickly transferred into the C8 Corvette. Unprovoked, those guys brought it up, and we started discussing this car in earnest. Now, the town that I work in is fairly small. About 55,000 people actually live in this town. And he told me, the Toyota dealership one of the salespeople inside of their organization, her husband actually bought a brand new C8 Corvette. And in fact, they're in association with the General Motors dealership in town. And apparently that dealership in the past 10 days has sold 6 of brand new C8 Corvettes. So the vehicle is selling quite well. Even though I was at a Toyota dealership, it was first thing on people's minds. We had a nice little discussion between the three of us about just how special this car is going to be. So it'd be very intriguing to see what comes about of this. I think this is going to be a monumental year for that brand new mid-engine Corvette. Last up on the list, we're going to talk about the 918 Spyder, but it's only a little tiny piece of this particular story. And it is about one particular fellow on Instagram, one R.D. Whittington. R.D. Whittington is the controller of the Instagram account known as Wires Only. He did a nice little sit down with the folks over at the New York Times over the past several days. And he's got an interesting little situation on his hands. He's basically a part of a dealership in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he's got some high-end clientele that actually purchase automobiles right from Instagram. As somewhat of an impulse buy, R.D. Whittington and a little bit of that Wires Only, that's the trick. He is selling high-end supercar, limited edition model supercars on Instagram to some high-end clientele. You may have seen one of his particular machines. If you're a big fan of Taylor Swift, you may have seen one of her latest videos. There was a gold Bugatti Veyron. This was actually rented from R.D. Whittington and his organization. And he's actually looking to put together a brick and mortar store in Beverly Hills, California, thanks to his high-end clientele. And one of his best friends, one actor and music mogul, Jamie Foxx, is one of his clientels and a good friend of his. This is basically the situation. Any car on his Instagram account that you see in video form or photo form is for sale. So whenever it's posted, the first person to come up with a wire transfer, this is a sight on scene, you buying an automobile, something that you and I may never ever do in our lifetimes, but a lot of high-end people that got a lot of big-time cash will do this particular deal. The Porsche 918 in question, an actual CEO of a company kicked $800,000 and his brand new Rolls-Royce Phantom in trade for that brand new Porsche 918 Spyder. These are folks that have a lot of expendable income and are not afraid to spend it. His phone goes off constantly in a 24-hour cycle of him selling automobiles. It's a pretty interesting way to sell vehicles on the old Instagram. So if you want to check out Instagram, Wires Only, at Wires Only, you can check out his personal account. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.